Hello, good morning and welcome. And I'm going to say good morning because today's event is purely about North America and our friends slightly north of our American friends in Canada. So welcome for today's session on Graphics Canada with Infigo, HP, Enfocus and Significans. And first of all, while we let a few people come in, can we just see who's joining us in the chat and share where you're coming from? And let's get straight to it. Are you going to be coming to Graphics Canada? That's the first question.
Many good printers, if I may please interject, visiting from La Belle Provence in Montreal.
Okay, and that's a nice segue into introducing our special guest today, Dan, the director of the event. Hey, Dan, we look forward to talking to you later, sir. Okay, so as you can see, we're going with an ice hockey theme for this year's show. We all believe in teamwork, and something that's very special about this group of companies, they're coming together to produce and share knowledge on software and how software can benefit PSP. Now, Graphics Canada has always been a show for firsts. There were many firsts in the last show after COVID, where we saw robotics, a live floor workflow. This year, this particular where these four companies will be purely focused on software automation, subject Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to meet the players. We're then going to talk about how they work together and why. We're going to hear from each of them individually, and then we're going to have a word from our special guest Dan, who we've already heard from a few seconds ago, who's putting the event together. And I think it's going to share some great insight why this is a very special event for Canada. And then we have a Q&A at the end with our panel where we can ask them some questions and hear about what they're going to bring to the event. So I'm just going to make a few sound adjustments, so bear me a second. Okay, so throughout today's event, we're going to ask you to jump in the chat as we did earlier on. Please share where you're from, any questions you like. If you hear something that grabs your interest, please jump in, ask for more information. Just say, more information, please. And then on the follow-up, we'll make sure something's sent out to you. If at any point you want to meet or have a demonstration or a discovery call with one of our vendors, please ask in the chat, and then we'll make sure that we can tie you up with the right person. We also have polls we'll be running throughout today's session, and we invite you to take part in those. That helps us gear the content in the future around what you need, and also the conversations when we see you in person. Okay, so let's introduce our superstar MVPs for today's session. We have Kirk Lewis from HP. He'll be talking to us about the PrintOS. Hi, Kirk. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. Looking forward to hearing about the 3 booths that HP have at the event this year.
Yes.
Then we have CEO and founder of Infigo Software, Douglas Gibson. Douglas has been pivotal in driving the AI and personalization technology in the industry over the last year or so. Hello, Douglas.
Hey, guys. Great to be part of this esteemed panel, and very excited to be supporting and running this year's event with the guys at Graphics Canada. Looking forward to sharing a bit more of why we're here and what it's all about for the users that are on today, and also the ones that will be listening over the next few days in the run-up to this amazing event.
Awesome. Thank you, Douglas. And then we have Piet from Enfocus. Hey, Piet.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Anything you want to say, Piet?
Yeah, of course. No, looking forward to a great show. So I'm happy to discuss what we're going to bring at the show as well today, as well as how we play with the others.
Excellent. I'm really excited to hear about what you are going to bring. Of the last couple of shows, you've had some very exciting giveaways and interactions. So I'm really excited to hear about what you're going to bring to this show. And then we have Raad from Significans. Marc, who has been pulling all of these events together, was a major part of the Web Connect Plus partnership at the last event 2 years ago. Absolutely fantastic. Marc, how are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Great pleasure to be here, especially with my esteemed partners and colleagues. We are really looking forward to Graphics Canada 25 coming off 23, where we showed off robotics and showed automation. And now we're just going to do it amongst a software, which is really, really key as we're seeing a lot more software enter into our space.
Excellent. And software is the key, isn't it? That's the buzzword really right now. Okay. And then we come on to our special guest, Dan. Give us a few words, if you may, so we'll save the good stuff to later.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Very, very excited indeed, and humbled at the same time, you know, to have this opportunity to bring together the Canadian graphic communications and printing industry once every 2 years at Graphics Canada. We're looking forward to a great show.
Thanks, Dan. And I'm Chris. I'm your host today, Head of Global Marketing for Infigo. And I've been very lucky to work with these gentlemen and these suppliers and partners over the last couple of years for the Graphics Canada project. So we have a little introduction to it. So you would have seen from the diagram in the video there that actually all of the partners here today all connect and work together. Hence the team ethic and you know, working with a common goal to win the game for the PSP. So we're going to start off with one of our first polls now, and we want to just see what you guys think. And the first poll is going to be: how many people would love a fully automated workflow? So I'm just going to post the poll now. How many people would love a fully automated workflow? It seems like an obvious question, doesn't it?
Anybody that doesn't, we should remove them instantly from this session, Christopher.
Yeah, but I think this is a loaded question, isn't it, Douglas? It's you want a fully automated workflow, but are you willing to do what's necessary?
We can never be guilty of loading up a question.
Excellent. Okay, so we have at the moment 100%, which I'd expect. So everybody on this call wants fully automated workflow in their factory floor. The right people are on the call to speak to. Okay. So Douglas Gibson. Obviously, I've worked with you for a while. Great to introduce you and see Infigo back at Graphics Canada. Yeah, tell us a little bit about Infigo, your journey, and how you sort of ended up here and why we are working with these great three partners in a few words.
Well, hi guys, lovely to see you. Douglas Gibson, CEO and founder of the wonderful, as described by Chris, powerhouse of web to print. Why are we here? Why are we coming to Canada? Well, where else should we go? That's my question. There's no other else to be than driving up and being alongside these great people at Graphics Canada. But jokes aside, this is probably, I think, Dan, maybe our fourth event in the last few years. And we've been seeing fantastic success over the last couple of years, and we've seen the opportunity and the scale grow exponentially for Infigo. So what does that mean? If you're a PSP, you're looking for ideas, you're looking for motivation, you're looking for to speak to the real companies that can help drive your business forward. That's where I would be heading towards as Graphics Canada, and it's really exciting to be able to support that. The guys have done an amazing job about really putting into practice, not just talking about automation, but showing it live at the event. So that's both powerful, exciting, and giving the guys, the PSPs, a real live view of what's going on within our businesses. So super excited. We're going to have a couple of guys coming out to view it, and really look forward to joining into the event. So very exciting. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks, Douglas. It's a great intro. I think you've undersold it slightly. I think you do amazing work with the integrations and the partnerships with, for all PSPs, not just the guys on this call, but for anyone in the print industry. One of the things that I get excited about with Infigo is the experience on the booth during the show. Tell us a little bit about what people can look forward to when they come onto the stand 5012 at Graphics Canada.
Yeah, definitely. Well, from one amazing show in Europe to another, we were the talked about integration at a wonderful European show, and we're speaking to Dan and say, why don't we bring that great technology to the Canadian show? So we're actually going to be using our AI automation, which is really powerful and fueled by our partners at Enfocus, and driving automation, and LinkedIn from Significans, and producing that production power from our lovely friends at HP. So you can come along, you can get a completely personalized hockey player and have a choose to have a bit of fun on the stand. So adding a bit of pizzazz to that, what it can be, that mundane part of the exhibition. So really excited to be bringing that to the show, and also to be showcasing the power of how in real life AI technology can add a real enhancement to that web to print portal experience for both ourselves and our customers.
Thanks, Douglas. That's great. It's always good to see the latest and greatest come into these events. It's what people pay their money for, as it were. If it's okay, Doug, I'm going to open up the coach's playbook now. I've got some questions for you, if I may.
Oh God, I hope it's not my secrets here, Chris.
It's
Don't
not
reveal any of my secrets.
Well, I don't know. But if you can keep the answers clean, it'd be greatly appreciated. The first one has to be
some things I can't guarantee, Chris.
It has to be the first question, and I think I'll ask this to everybody really. We're all about teamwork on today's session. We're all about teamwork generally in business and in life. How does the Infigo platform integrate and connect? I.e., how does it play with the other team members in Focus, HP, and Significance?
Yeah, fantastic question, Chris. I think, do you know what? I'm going to come from this slightly different angle. If we look at why people do business with other businesses, it's people. And one thing that you absolutely get when you're dealing with Enfocus, Significance, Infigo, and HP, you're getting the best of the best. People that understand the technology, they understand the products, and they understand how to absolutely make them sing. So as well as just being great products, these people know how to make them work and get the best out of the systems and processes for the PSPs. And by far, that's better than anything when it's connected and working in harmony.
Excellent, Douglas. I love that. People buy from people as well, don't they?
Absolutely.
What are the benefits to the PSP, though? Let's the people listen to this call today. Let's tell them what the benefits are with the integrations. All three integrations. Or one of them.
I look at it as three ways. Number one, they can have jobs flow into the factory 24/7. The jobs can come in, they can go through the Enfocus automation that's been very well configured by the guys at Significance. It can then flow into the PrintOS platform and site flow, where it can automate that production. So number one, we can get more jobs into the factory 24/7. Who doesn't want that from a PSP perspective? Number two, we do it in the most automated way. So we're not just linking to one system, we're making sure that all systems work in harmony. And number three, we're doing that in the most profitable and fastest way.
Wow, okay. Didn't expect all of those for that one question, but thank you very much. We like the word profitable. Is web to print even relevant anymore, Doug? Is it
I think they're Graphics Canada. Well, don't visit Graphics Canada if you want more business and you want more jobs.
Okay, you heard it here first.
So that's
Don't
just an important
visit
point.
Graphics
But yeah,
Canada
no, web.
if you don't. Okay, that's brilliant.
No, jokes aside, web to print, is it relevant anymore? I look at this question and have this conversation. It's not. Web to print, it was about creating a business card and ordering online. That world is gone. That ship has sailed. What we're about is looking at a fully integrated system that adds value to our customers and integrates to these great value partners. And that's more and much greater than web to print. And if you've got a system that sits there and can create business cards that is not integrated, then you're just not getting the value of what the solution is. So it's not relevant anymore. It's much bigger, it's much and it's becoming a key part of every PSP.
Brilliant, Doug. That's fantastic. Web to everything then. So let's move on to HP. I have got two very important questions for Douglas, which I'll save for the Q&A. I want to find out what the current challenges are in the marketplace and what's next for web to print. So I'll save those for him because he's obviously got a lot to share with us today, and there's a lot of value there for driving profit. So let's move on. Let's move on to our next partner. Let's speak to Kirk of HP. Kirk, hello.
Hello, Chris. Thanks for having me again. Pleasure to be here. How are things?
Yes, Kirk, great to have you. HP are here in force in Graphics Canada this year. 3 booths, one with software, one with wide format. Give us the details. Tell us what's going on. Tell us about the strategy behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Graphics Canada, obviously a very important show for us every year, every other year when it comes around. And we're really excited to be able to have, obviously, our partner integration showcase with Significans, Enfocus, Infigo, and obviously HP in the SiteFlow and the PrintOS world, but also showing that breadth of connectivity also to our Indigo and Latex platform as well, which we're going to be showcasing some of the latest, greatest technologies that we have on the hardware side, but also amplifying that and showing how the power of software can help drive, as Douglas mentioned, that profitable growth engine to be able to have both sides of that coin humming at high speed for us. So really excited to be there, obviously in force. We've got 3 big booths, 3 big booth presences inside of there. And really looking forward to do a good show and tell and having a bit of fun with it.
Fantastic. And obviously today we're talking about booth 5012, which is going to be software focused. Should we jump right
100%.
into your information here and see, tell us a little bit about what's going on here, Kirk.
Yeah, so in the booth 5012, which is the booth you got to stop by if you're coming to the show, should be the first booth you stop by. But what we're going to be showcasing here is a little bit about our automation platform, right? And a little bit about inside of PrintOS, this application called SiteFlow, and how it can help not only help profitably grow your business, but also help automate that business down through every facet of your facility. Now, one of the cool things about our platform that's been available for, better part of 10 years now, is its lights out automation, its scalability, its security, its elastic in nature, it grows as you do. And it really is a foundational piece of technology that our customers today out there in the world, thousands of them, rely on to do business today, whether it's e-com, whether it's GCP, LMP, whatever it might be. But in saying that, we're going to be showcasing this, but the really beauty of this is that partner network that we have with all of you on the call here today. So moving on to the next slide, while HP's got this fantastic platform in PrintOS and this fantastic ecosystem of SiteFlow, the integrations between Infigo from an upstream partner to be able to tap into that e-commerce market, having those integrations be a white glove or turnkey approach into your production automation system, having our friends at Enfocus also do that secret sauce, that Swiss Army knife of switch and connect of what that is, of data transforms that I'm sure Piet will come on to later, but also having the power and the expertise in partner like Significans on helping put all of this in place at our print service provider is really where the rubber meets the road and really helps that platform shine. So while it's absolutely amazing that we built this thing and have amazing success out of it, really it's about obviously the coming together as we talked about, and obviously driving that profitable software prints down to our devices as well. So really excited to showcase this today, here today on the call, and also to get our customers to get our hands on, have a bit of fun with it with that hockey AI themed message, where you actually be able to take that home at the show and get your own personalized bit there done as well. And the last bit that I really want to talk about as well is the next slide about why the heck are we doing all of this and why the heck does it matter? Well, if I look at the challenges that we're trying to solve out there in the market and some of the things that our customers are talking to us about, it's really about how do I have an international sales force out there to be able to programmatically connect to different systems? How can I get more jobs, like Douglas said? How can I tap into new markets? And how can I do that without having to have my own expertise, my own dev team, my IT spend at my disposal to do that every single time I want to do this? So turning this into a one-day integration has got to be paramount and definitely something that we can provide. And we'll be showcasing how that all can happen at our show floor, how we can automate laborious tasks. We know the labor shortages that are out there. How can we have our software and solutions kind of alleviate some of that challenge there today? But also about data and control. So the big themes that we talk about is about connecting, it's about automating, it's about controlling the business, and giving our print service providers the tools to be able to do that at scale for them. And that's what we're going to have on the show floor with all of our integrated partners showcasing all of that. So really excited.
Fantastic, Kirk. And it's really good to see that all four of you are coming together, not only to think about, making profitability, but you're looking at the hardware supplies. There's no point investing in new hardware if you haven't got the four of you together driving not just the jobs, but also a job efficiently onto the press and off again. So this is fantastic to see. Kirk, I'm going to have to ask you some questions, if I may. Again, Coach's Playbook's coming out. You've covered some of these in your diagrams, but let's see if we can quickly go over it. How do you connect with Enfocus, Significans, and Infigo? Headline level, sir.
For sure. Well, there's the how, and then there's also the why. So if you look at our ecosystem of what we've got today, there's some 80 plus partners out there that are connected to HP in some degree. But what we wanted to do at the show here is showcase some of the four premier ones that have a lights out, beautiful integration that drives business results. And that's why all of us are on this call here today, showcasing it at Graphics Canada. With those 80 plus partners, though, the reason we're doing it also is about friction. And we want to be able to do is remove that friction in our print service providers' lives, as well as the brand's lives. And when we reduce friction, we add value, and really that's where the demonstratable growth comes from in all of our connections today. Talk about open APIs, talk about transparency, playing well in the sandbox with each other, and that's really what our platform is all about, what we're going to be showcasing. And Enfocus, and obviously Significans and Infigo, you guys believe in that same sort of mantra, which is why it's great to partner with you guys.
Okay, so you covered my next question, really. What are the benefits to the PSP with PrintOS and SiteFlow? And you've covered that, obviously, connectivity, agnostic approach. I love that. But how are you keeping, at HP, how are you keeping these products relevant? What's the plan there? How are you keeping these things modern and keeping them ahead of the curve?
Absolutely. Well, the great thing here is that inside of HP, we've announced a brand new division inside of our company called the Industrial Print Software and Solutions Division, which I have the pleasure of helping lead from a sales perspective. And we are doubling down on our investments and growing that tech stack of software in the coming days and weeks and months. You'll see some cool stuff at Graphics Canada that we're going to be showcasing, as well as later on at other events and shows throughout the year. But it's really about listening to our customers, and developing on that core platform of agnostic approach that we have with PrintOS to bring in our partner ecosystem to help grow that. And listening to our customers is obviously the key thing there as well, which we do every day. So appreciate all of that.
Thanks, Kirk. And two of the questions I wanted to ask Douglas, which I'll come back to. Douglas has joined us now. Thanks, Douglas. We'll save those questions to the Q&A at the end. But from HP's point of view, what are you guys seeing as challenges in the market right now?
Well, a couple of ones, really the first and foremost one that we hear from our customers a lot is being able to have a set of software tool sets that I don't need to have an investment or development team behind me to help onboard new brands and onboard new customers. I want to be able to have a set of tools and partner with some partners out there that understand that tech and help me get to market quicker. Connecting the content creators and the supply network together in a seamless approach that doesn't take weeks, months, or years to do, but in days to be able to get that going. And that's what our print service providers right now today are saying, help me connect easier, remove that friction inside of there. And I think when we focus and establish that, and obviously we're going to be showcasing this at Graphics Canada, that's a beautiful thing. And that's where customers really gravitate towards, right? That easy button that we all know about, or that friction remover. So that's kind of that core challenge there. And then of course, after you get things in the front door, the challenge then becomes, how do I get it out my back door as quickly and easily as possible with as few touch points as I possibly can? And we've got a great tech stack with yourselves and on the PrintOS platform be able to help demonstrate and do that. So it's about reducing friction after it's in the front door and reducing that friction of trying to get it in that front door in an easy possible way. That's really the two pain points that we're solving these days, and we'll continue to solve that in the future.
Okay, and what can we expect to see from HP? This could be a broad answer in terms of all three booths, or we can just focus on the software during the show. What do we expect to see from HP at this year's show?
You got a bit of a sneak peek of it earlier on that trade show, where we're going to be showcasing our integrations in between the Infigo platform, doing that AI hockey card cool souvenir keepsake, as well as some postcards and some LMP type approach. So an agnostic approach of various applications coming into our platforms, working with the Enfocus team and obviously the SiteFlow team to be able to help automate that into presses, whether that be wide format, whether that be the Indigo, or whether that might be a different type of manufacturing type of equipment out there as well. And then obviously printing those things, giving those souvenirs out to our customers as well. And then everything in between. So really showcasing the seeing is believing, or making it real, as we say, out there, that it's not just vaporware, but customers can actually interact with our software and see how it works.
Awesome, Kirk. Thank you so much. Very excited. Thank you to HP as well for their support, and leads us nicely on to Enfocus. Piet, I don't know where to start with you, sir. You bring so much fun and energy to every event. I think you were at the last Graphics Canada with WebConnect Plus. And where do we start, Piet, for Enfocus this year?
Where do we start? Well, let me first quickly tell you what we're going to show software-wise at Graphics Canada, right? So we're bringing our entire product lineup, right? So think of it, it's how to get a PDF perfectly pre-flighted and ready for print with Pitstop. How you can then get it online approved using Review, doing intelligent planning in a position with Phoenix, and get wide format files nested with Griffin. All of that in our Switch, in our Switch platform, all integrated seamlessly, right? The key belief and the core architecture of that Switch platform for 20 years has been to open it up to as many vendors as possible, which we have, I think about 10 years ago, actually materialized in our App Store. We still had to do a lot of integrations through legacy scripting. A lot of systems were closed, but of course we're very happy to see that our vision has been broadly adopted by every other vendor in the industry. And that really shows in our Enfocus App Store, right? We had a slide about it, Chris. We currently have an app store. You can access it through enfocus.com/app store, and in the app store you can really see all of the integrations. It's a dynamic. It's an online marketplace where you can find a wide range of pre-built solutions, because there's that integration with Infigo. There's many printers, there's many PSPs that need that, right? The integration with PrintOS as well. So we've opened that up. We allowed our partners to appify those integrations, and among that, there's some other things you can find on the App Store as well. So there's connectors to third-party systems. There's also just tools like little features that are offered as well. And it's being broadly adopted, Chris. If you can go to the next slide, here you can see the App Store facts. Currently, we have 305 apps on the App Store. I think not only a year ago we celebrated 250. So with Davey on board as our Davey Verstaan as our App Store manager, this is really growing very nicely. We also see a very big chunk of our total Switch users actually using those apps. So that's very good to see. I'm not going to go over all the apps. I would like to focus on what else we're going to bring to the show.
Okay, so Piet, just quickly, I mean, one of the things I like about this collection of software vendors is that for Infigo, we sit at the front of the workflow with the web to print, and I think when we were Print United and Label Expo, we had one workflow going straight into SiteFlow for AI and the labels, making a face swap with the labels. And then when we came to Print United, we then had a live demonstration using other vendors using the Connect Switch app.
Correct.
What it tells me is that everything's connected. It gives everybody more options, whether you're going direct into SiteFlow or whether direct into Connect Switch. But you can also connect into SiteFlow as well, right?
Yeah, we can connect it to SiteFlow. Yeah. In essence, Switch connects everything to everything. Whether it's and it really uses production data. It can take data from any source, whether it's MIS, whether it's Infigo. It can use that data in production so that you can save your time and, of course, the possibility for human error if you need to enter data twice. And Switch can report back to any system as long as the system is open. And again, more and more systems have their API now. We Switch can connect it all, and that's great. It really answers some challenges as well.
Okay, thank you. And it's answered some of my questions straight off. So you've explained how you connect and work with Infigo and HP through the Switch. Explain to me a little bit more about how you guys work with Significans and what an important partnership that is.
Yeah. So at Enfocus, we're an indirect business. What does that mean? Our software is being implemented, and our customers are guided through a network of resellers. So Significance is one of our highly respected resellers in North America. So what they do is actually just do a full assessment of your workflow. How do you work? And where can we save the most time? I'm going to let Marc do the talking about that in a minute, I think, because he knows way better how that works
Did he pay you
than
to
I
say
do.
that?
But...
Did he pay you
Sorry?
to say that, by the way? Did he pay you to say
No
that
comment.
about being...
No comment. No.
Not enough.
Okay. So thank you for that, Piet. And obviously, you've answered the other question with the benefits, being agnostic, giving connectivity to anything, being adaptable. I get that. How are you keeping your products relevant right now, Piet? What does Enfocus do to stay ahead of the curve?
Well, let me tie that question to the other question that was the coach's playbook. Like, what are the challenges that we are seeing? Right, there's as a company that's been primarily and as from its core from the beginning, we were focusing on commercial print, but we see a lot of we saw a lot of customers kind of divesting their business or expanding their business either to wide format, either to labels, could be packaging as well. So what do you see as multiple companies really investing in a myriad of hardware? Each of those pieces of hardware come with some software as well, and then we call them islands, right? You have your little digital print island, and then it could be some flexo in there as well, and then some wide format machines, and then how do you streamline all of that equipment and software into one single flow, right? And that's kind of the biggest challenge. And combined with that is then the market needs where, well, in production, it comes down to the need for speed and need for personalization. I mean, there's been an ever ongoing trend in print runs becoming smaller, but we're looking at runs of one now, books of one. And signs of one, for example. So we are trying to stay relevant by adding as many connections as we can to the App Store, so we can streamline as many disparate systems as we can.
Great, Piet. Thank you. And I have to ask you this question as well. What are the challenges you guys are seeing in the marketplace right now when you're talking to all these many PSPs, different vendors? What are the most common things that you're hearing as an issues?
Coming back to what I just said, it's mostly those changing market demands. Also, customers require a lot more visibility on production, right? I think the companies that succeed in notifying a customer when a job goes into production, when it's going into packaging, when it's being sent, when it's being shipped. I mean, those are the companies that succeed in doing that. Those are the companies that win. But try to do that yourself, right? That you need a system behind it to automate the whole lot for you.
Awesome. And as Kirk said earlier, the Swiss Army knife of the workflow. So fantastic. Yeah. So the answer to my next question, what can we expect to see at Graphics Canada? I think I've got the answer. Can you explain?
Well, yes, I can explain. I'm very glad to do so as well, because for me this is kind of a circle coming to a close. I'll talk you through it. So what you see here is mini-me's, right? So again, I come to our booth. We can show you in detail how it works, but in essence, we put you in front of a wide screen at the show. We take a picture of you, and about an hour, 2 hours later, you can walk out with a mini-me. So that's what we did at Printing United, and I got the idea at previous Graphics Canada. There was a Web Connect Plus booth where it wasn't the first time, but it really opened my eyes, and I saw it happening in front of me. Like you can go from design to production in a matter of minutes now, huh? Can you? Yeah, you can. We showed last time. So how can we make that more credible? How can we actually show that we're producing something live? So that's where I got the idea. Like, why don't we get a picture taken, get the background automatically removed with an AI tool? Why don't we use Pitstop to generate the cut path around it and get the whole thing nested using our software, and then report back status to any system? So that's how the idea grew for Printing United in 2023. We've now done mini-me's. I think we've produced at shows, at trade shows worldwide. We've done it in South Africa. We're going to do it in Europe a couple of times as well. I think we've produced about 1,500 now at trade shows, and it gives a visitor a very delightful experience. And we've always expanded that flow. So at Canada, we're going to bring, it's not going to be a mini-me. It's going to be something in the hockey team, but I'm not going to spill the beans. You have to come over and see and experience it for yourself, of course. And of course, our flow will take data from, what do you think, Infigo, of course, because we're at the same booth, and then also it's going to send some data back. Also, it's going to send production data to PrintOS, so it's going to be a fully integrated demo. It's going to be great to see.
Piet, fantastic. That's the right answer for Douglas. So I'm glad that you said that. I have to say as well, it was amazing at Printing United because there were so many different live workflows going on using the Connect Switch app. Significans were involved, HP were involved, Infigo were involved, and it was brilliant to see that connectivity, and also things working live on the show floor where, let's be honest, the internet isn't always reliable or people are a little bit stressed. So that was great, Piet. So thank you so much.
I have to give credit to a couple of guys at Enfocus because all I have is crazy ideas. All my team has is crazy ideas, but it's the very capable people like, well, at Enfocus, Davey and Laurent, they deserve all credit because they make it happen. And at a customer, it's integrators like Significans that make it happen. So I always say that Switch is the magic wand, but you need a magician as well. Over to you, Marc.
I was going to say, great segue. Here we are, Significans. No pressure, Marc. First of all, thank you very much for all the efforts you put in behind the scenes. You're a stalwart in the Canadian print space. You do a lot for bringing people together and driving the industry forward. Tell us a little bit about Significans, Marc.
Well, in fact, Significans actually wouldn't exist without fantastic technology like what we have here with our partners. And in fact, I don't think we'd ever show up at a trade show in our current form as a system integrator. Because it wouldn't make sense. We'd be lost amongst a sea of incredible technology, and it's because we provide the service behind deploying the software, integrating the software, and I think it's just great that we're all coming together to demonstrate that this is an opportunity for software that can be connected in people's businesses and can flourish incredible efficiencies and ROI.
Okay, thank you very much, Marc. Let's move on. I'm going to ask you some questions, if that's okay.
By all means. I think my answers are going to be short because it's hard to follow somebody like Douglas and company because they've answered a lot of questions here.
And that's the whole point. It's a strong team that we're putting out for Graphics Canada, and I think we all complement each other. But you're right; everybody is bringing a lot to the table. I've asked the other three guys how they work and connect with the other three partners. Do you want to tell us a little bit how you work with Enfocus or HP or Infigo, or how you implement or how you see that partnership evolving?
Absolutely. Well, Significance Automation really exists as a professional services company to instrument and enhance all the software capabilities beyond an ecosystem. And what does that mean? An ecosystem exists because a software provider has created that ecosystem so that you can utilize as much of their software in the perfect handshake form. We like to go beyond the ecosystem because a lot of the softwares that are being represented on the trade show floor, often don't connect instantaneously with accounting systems or CRM systems or MIS systems. And really without that connectivity, you're never achieving the highest levels of automation. So I'll repeat that so it's clear. To get the highest levels of automation, you're going to have to integrate. And we exist here to do those integrations so that the entire business becomes fully integrated and is arriving at levels of Industry 4.0.
Thanks, Marc. And that's kind of covers my next question as well, with the benefits that Significans brings with its products and services, with its automation and integrations. How you guys keep?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, go on. No, jump in. Please jump in if there's more to that. Obviously, that'd be
fantastic. Well, I was just going to say, I mean, we end up being an extension to a number of our customers out there, and an extension from an IT or a software deployment. We know the software quite intimately, whether that's ESCO, Enfocus, Hybrid, etc. And we know a myriad of auxiliary solutions, and we can really get that schema of end-to-end that's available in the marketplace together. And we do that by way of customizing it so it becomes the IP of the customer. And that's what's really, really important here. You're not going to go to the golf store and buy a set of golf clubs, and then think that it's going to be yours without customizing the grip and customizing the angularity of the club. You're going to customize it using a coach, i.e. us or any of our peers actually, and then it becomes your IP, and then your IP becomes your growth, your capabilities to gel better with corporate North America.
Great, Marc. Thank you for that. And how are you keeping the Significant products and services relevant right now? I've asked this question to the other partners as well, and they're really important because in software, everything moves at lightning speed. We hear all these buzz phrases, buzz terms with using AI and all these other things that actually have been around for a very long time, and a lot of companies are already using it. But how do you stay ahead in that space?
We have to stay ahead. We have the privilege of servicing between 10 and 20 different customers a month, new customers a month. And people come to us and they ask us very, very hard questions about what's coming around in the future. How do we stay relevant? How do we stay modern? And our team is constantly going through training and I guess coaching themselves so that they can stay relevant. And staying relevant is also very important for our customers because we're servicing them to stay relevant. So yeah, it's constant, and buzzwords like AI, which could be a whole webinar in itself, Chris. That's where we've come in, and you've nailed it. It's been around for a long time. In fact, since inception, we've been instrumenting levels of AI for our customer workflows, notably around aggregate AI. But I think it's important that, and this is probably segue into one of the coach's questions, that we understand what AI is all about. We have to define it, get it very crystal clear, and see how it's relevant to the applications, the aptitude, and the skill sets of the workers in the companies that we're dealing with. And then ultimately, does it fit a budget, and will it create some hardship, right? Because we also have to be aware that we have to safeguard, when we're using new technologies, we have to safeguard certain instruments in the company.
That's a great point, Marc. And I guess you're correct. This topic does lead on to the next two questions, and you kind of answer it. What are the current challenges in the marketplace? Well, AI is a challenge, and it's also a solution, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Would you confirm that, or would you deny that?
Categorically, yes. Yeah.
And then
I go one step further, and we always assess how much of an AI schema we can build into our customers' opportunity using XYZ software. Most of the time, we're using our partners here that are available on this webinar. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I think really what we really need to do is not only define it, but test it so it works in the environment. And that's what we're constantly doing. So all of our deployments come with not only planning and planning and budgeting, but also the testing and the deployment and the constant refinements.
That's great, Marc. Thanks for sharing that. And what's next for the software space from your perspective?
So we're believers that software is to exist for enhanced productivity and efficiencies, and really to break down the silos in most of our companies. And most notably, we've been developing apps for the Enfocus Switch App Store for a few years now. We have about 10, and probably 2 more are in arrival shortly. So we're really excited about that. And at Graphics Canada, we'll be showcasing a little software platform that we've developed to, let's say, fill in the gaps of where we are today with data and data flow, and how to really make sure that data triggers the ultimate automation in people's businesses.
Excellent, Marc. Thank you so much, Marc. That's fantastic. You've answered my last question with what can we expect to see at Graphics Canada. So thank you so much. And come by your terminal on booth 5012 to see what that application is. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next poll now. Okay, this one is, well, again, it should be a no-brainer. Where's the biggest challenge in your workflow? Is it MIS, web to print, production automation, speed to press, or linking all these technologies together? Now, this is multiple choice. For me, there's one.
And there's really nothing wrong, right? There's really nothing wrong.
No. So at the moment, we've got 53% linking all these technologies together. A few more minutes. Web to print coming in at 11%. Speed to press 17%. But it looks like tying everything together is the main challenge. So I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, everything you will need to do that is on this call. These gentlemen on here can help you with that challenge. Okay, so we're now moving on to our esteemed guest, Dan. Welcome.
Greetings.
It's great to have you here, buddy. Obviously, being a director of Graphics Canada, it must mean that you're quite busy this time of year. Oh, sorry, Dan. 1 second. We just had a slight technical glitch there. See if we got you back.
Okay, so
I
unmuted myself now. So thank you, Chris. Absolutely. Last but not least, and how can one follow such passion and enthusiasm for the printing industry and the magic of print, of course. Very excited, and we're looking forward to an amazing show and experience 3 weeks from today. And very strong visitor pre-registration. We're close to 5,000 visitors pre-registered as of today. Imagine that. So 5,000 printers have pre-registered as of today, and what an amazing day yesterday with close to 400 registrations, online registrations yesterday. 400 printers registered yesterday to visit Graphics Canada. And we're looking at probably a daily average of 200 to 250 these last couple of weeks. So we're optimistic. We can probably hit 9,000 to 10,000 visitor pre-registrations before the show.
Wow.
So how can one not be excited and optimistic to bring this amazing Canadian printing industry together? So
that's great, Dan. And how does that compare to 2023 in terms of numbers? If
it is very much in line with where we were 3 weeks before the show 2 years ago, and we're seeing actually more out of province type of registrations. I think who knows? I mean, tariffs may have something to do. I think politics may have something to do with it. Maybe more good Canadian printers visiting or planning to visit Graphics Canada versus other shows. Nothing wrong about that. And we also have a rather unique hosted by a VIP travel initiative in place where Graphics Canada pays hotels and even airfare for qualified printers from outside the province, from outside Ontario, or even from outside the GTA to travel and visit Graphics Canada. So imagine that. I mean, free hotels if you're a good printer interested in looking at the equipment and exploring and networking. Free hotels at one of the official hotels for Graphics Canada.
So details in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. Sorry, Chris.
I say put your details in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to speak to Dan about that.
We're running out of hotel rooms, by the way, but you know the French is spoken at Hilton and Westin with so many good printers from La Belle Provence and from Quebec planning to visit. If I may, also one of the lesser known secrets about Toronto and the Canadian printing community, of course. Not only that amazing print coming out of Toronto, but Greater Toronto area has, based on stats and audited numbers, has more printers per capita than any other major metro area in North America. So,
wow.
So definitely a very strong and vibrant and dynamic printing industry and community here. And a large majority of it never misses Graphics Canada. A trade show a trade show launched more than 60 years ago.
That's a great segue to my next question, Dan. What number Graphics Canada is this?
So it's always been held once every 2 years. It started in 1963. We celebrated 60 years 2 years ago. So this would be the 31st edition of Graphics Canada being launched, or more than 60 years ago.
And it's a round of applause from Douglas there, and obviously he said earlier, been to a few as well. My next question would be, what was your favourite? And obviously it was 2023, where Web Connect Plus took the show by storm with the
absolutely
live. I mean, which show has robots moving print up and down the show floor?
Absolutely, Chris, and thank you for that. That was an amazing demonstration and an unprecedented collaboration, I should say, between many premium suppliers, working together, Canadian-based and American-based and European-based or overseas as well, working together to produce amazing results.
Thanks, Dan. And one last question, I guess, for me before we move on to questions with our panel. What can we expect to look forward to at Graphics Canada? What are you excited about?
Also, always excited, Chris. Absolutely. I mean, how can one not be excited bringing together so many good people, and probably I should have started saying a huge thank you to one of the most impressive lineups of premium suppliers, and there is so much equipment on the show floor already. Some of it never displayed at any other trade show. So we have a hall packed with automation and AI and workflow and software, of course, and digital technologies and inkjet and finishing and label and package printing. There's a lot of growth there, and so much more. I mean, as always, a non-stop free education program, keynotes and panels with some of the most innovative Canadian printers, innovative printers that believe that working together, working together is best. Innovative printers that don't mind sharing ideas and perspectives and success stories. And of course, we have receptions and we have thousands of networking opportunities, and it will definitely be time well spent.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dan, so much. And thank you for joining us today as well and being an amazing event director. We look forward to seeing you there. I'm now going to move on to the Q&A. Dan, I could talk to you for ages. You've got some great stories and some great insight. I'm going to move on to Q&A with our panel. We've had some questions come through. I'm first of all going to move back to Douglas, actually. So Douglas, we had a slight technical difficulty earlier. What are the biggest challenges you're seeing right now?
What, Graphics Canada has blown up my computer, my internet. It is unbelievable. It is fantastic. The excitement is busting. Hit me, Chris.
So the question I wanted to ask you earlier, Douglas, was what are the biggest challenges you're hearing right now in the industry?
I think the biggest challenge that we're seeing, and we're having a conversation, if we're really honest with ourselves, is just trying to get over the fragmentation in the world, and focus on our business and all the good things for our business. So I think one of our things is as we did through crazy times and COVID, etc., is really doubling down and helping our customers as much as we can, and making the team go above and beyond as much as we can. So I think there's lots of challenges. There's more things are getting more complex. The integrations are getting bigger. File sizes are getting bigger. Everything's getting bigger and more complex. So really, it's about helping our customers see through that craziness and integrate with partners that can really add value to the customers.
Douglas, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining back as well after the few technical difficulties. It's great to have you on here. I'm going to move on to some questions that have come in. I've got one for Kirk. You have a lot of great partners here, Kirk. Tell me why you work with them. Quite direct, isn't it?
It is quite direct, absolutely. Well, we work with these partners specifically because obviously they share a common thesis, a common thought, a common sort of way of doing business and work, and a common sort of streamline and focus of helping our customers and realizing that it's a better together approach, right? We're working together for a common goal and a common effort in harmony. And I think they're obviously represent the best in class in the industry, as well as having that common sort of mindset, which is why, it's a pleasure to work with them, and it's a pleasure to put this together at Graphics Canada and really show what we've been up to. So at the end of the day, good people, good companies, common theme.
Well, I think people are quite excited about HP being on here today, because there's another one for you as well, Kirk, which is kind of linked to that. And it was, how is AI going to affect production automation? So AI is not going to go away. This term's going to be with us. As both Douglas and Marc said earlier, it's been with us since the 50s. I think it's Alan Turing was the first to implement some form of AI. But people are going to keep asking the same questions, aren't they? How is AI going to affect production automation for HP?
So it's obviously going to have a huge impact on everything we do, not just in production automation, but obviously getting things before they even get into the front door. But again, it's back to that idea that I was mentioning earlier about removing friction, removing touch points, and putting high-valued people and labor to better use of tasks to drive more value, and letting the AI kind of remove those friction points in and outside of the facility. There's a massive opportunity for us to wield that. HP is a leader technologically in AI already, winning multiple awards. That is part of independent studies. But really harnessing what IT is, which is an IT company at its birth, right, at its core, and taking that AI leadership that we have of implementing it into our production stuff is what you're going to be seeing in the coming times about that, and really removing that friction point for us and giving our customer extreme value.
Great stuff. And one for Marc, Raad, actually. What's the biggest challenge for your customers that you see, and what solution are you providing? And is there a theme, or is there some kind of trend that goes with that challenge?
Is that to me?
It is, Marc, yes.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Well, we're marred by an industry that's still pretty mechanical and pretty manual. And there's a lot of data being collected every day by all of our customers. So the challenge is really to gel it all together and make sure that it's utilized for something more modern, more automated in their businesses. And again, partners like Enfocus and HP and definitely Infigo will help us tie that all together for our customer base.
Excellent. And then Piet, I'll come to you, buddy. As documents and workflows get more complex, how is Switch and Enfocus, or Enfocus Switch, how you want to put it, keeping up with that intensity?
Well, the complexity, it's not only in the documents, right? I think we've got a very good development team working on Pit Stop day and night, bringing 3 updates a year to overcome complexity of documents. When it comes to complexity of configurations, we rely on integrators to to help customers and to guide customers through it to set it up, because we got to be honest, it's quite of a curve setting it up. So that's where a partner comes in to guide you along the way.
Great stuff, Piet. Thank you very much. We're kind of at the end of the road, actually. We've already run over time. Is there anything you guys would like to share before we close off for the session?
No, solid. All good for me. Thanks, Chris. Well done, gang.
Oh, good, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Graphics Canada. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll put it. We'll get it. Go team.
So, as Marc said, the team will be at booth 5012, where you will see Infigo, HP, Enfocus, and Significans. If you'd like to pre-book any demonstrations or arrange to have any meetings with any of our guys today, please pop your details in the chat. Or if you're watching this on the replay, put it in the comments below, and we'll make sure somebody gets back to you.
If I may add, Chris, as well, and if you haven't pre-registered before and would like to attend, please just email us to info@graphicscanada.com for a free pass to register and save the $40 admission. info@graphicscanada.com if you need a free pass to register.
Thank you, Dan. You heard it here first. So as normal, the replay will be out in the next few hours, and you'll be welcome to catch up on everything that's discussed today. And again, if you want to cash in on some of those free passes or speak to some of our esteemed guests, please just pop it into the comments.
Amazing.
I'm going to close off there. So thank you to our guests. Thank you to everybody integrating, bringing together fantastic automation partnerships, and good luck for a great show, everybody.
Thank you all. Cheers.
Thank you.